And 3 recent deaths in Tampa, Florida's Seminole Heights neighborhood have sparked fear in the community. The victims were gunned down less than a mile from each other, and the deaths are believed to be connected. Here's Omar Villafranca.
Tampa police are trying to catch a killer. Officers are keeping a close eye on the Seminole Heights neighborhood. Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn.
We have somebody who has killed 3 people. Our department is now a hunter of men. We're going to get this guy, and we're not leaving this neighborhood until we do catch him.
Police won't call the suspect a serial killer, but say the murders are linked. 22-year-old Benjamin Mitchell died after he was shot at a bus stop. A few days later, 32-year-old Monica Hoffa was shot and killed. Her body found in a vacant lot less than a mile from the first murder. And last week, 20-year-old Anthony Naiboa was killed after he got off the bus. Naiboa's father, Casimar, says his son was autistic.
I want them to know that my son was a good kid.
Detectives released surveillance video of a man walking in the area where the first victim was killed. Police say he may have information about the murder.
We will catch this guy. We want to catch him before another one happens.
You think this person's going to make a mistake?
I think they will. They always do at some point.
Hundreds of residents took to the streets last night to take back their neighborhood and honor the victims. Officers are now patrolling in unmarked cars, warning people not to walk alone at night.
Police admit they don't have many leads in this case, but there is a $25,000 reward for any information that leads them to a suspect. Tony?
Omar, you're in an area where these shootings have taken place. What are you seeing in terms of police presence, and how are residents reacting?
There is a lot of police presence here. We're seeing a lot of marked police cars. We're also seeing a lot of unmarked police cars and officers in street uniforms. And as far as what they're doing, besides driving around, if they see somebody walking alone at night, they'll kind of pull up next to them and flash their lights and talk to them, basically kind of educate them. Do you know what's going on in this area? Please, if you have to walk with somebody else. There's still some people who aren't plugged in or paying attention, and they're letting them know that there have been 3 deaths this month from someone. As far as the people who live in this area, how they're reacting, they're happy to see the police presence. We've also noticed, according to police, they're turning on their front porch lights. Over the last, week and also yesterday, people were walking out here with candles to kind of honor those who passed away, but also kind of to send a message to the killer that these are their streets, this is their neighborhood, and they're not going to be scared.
So, Omar, the deaths are connected, according to police, but so far they've been reluctant to call the suspect a serial killer. On the one hand, saying if that helps bring attention to it, fine, but on the other hand, pulling back and saying we don't want to use the term just yet. Why the hesitancy?
Well, there's a definition, I believe, that they have to meet, and in some cases, it may seem like they're doing that, but they're kind of keeping that close to the vest. They're telling us, of course, that the victims do not know each other, but that the murders are connected. How? They're not telling us. We're not hearing any information on ballistics on the gun. They're kind of keeping that close to the vest as part of the investigation. And talking to some people who are familiar with investigations like this, one of the reasons they do that is because they don't want to tip their hand on what they're looking for, so the suspect doesn't maybe possibly change a method of how they're committing these crimes. So that's why they're kind of keeping that close to the vest at this point.
And we heard in your piece that the mayor of Tampa is committed to catching the suspect. Given that police have so little information, or have released so little information so far, what do we know about where the investigation goes from here?
At this point, they're going to continue basically flooding these streets with cops and encouraging people to talk. They're asking people, if you have a camera, go and look to see if you're seeing anything. They're having residents talk to your other residents and all your neighbors to see if they might have seen anything, and to report any suspicious activity. A sergeant told me yesterday that this case is going to take a little bit of luck. They're going to need some sort of break. Maybe somebody with all this press coverage remembers seeing something from one of those days. It jogs their memory, and they decide to give that tip line a call. That could hopefully break the case over. And at this point, that's what detectives are hoping for. The FBI is getting involved. We don't know at what capacity, but Tampa police are working with the FBI on this case. So there's a lot of eyes and ears here on the ground looking for that break in the cave.
And meanwhile, the days are ticking by, and so far they are ticking by without incident. Omar Villafranca in Tampa, Florida for us. Omar, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.